And I would love to introduce our next guest, and I'm super excited for her to be coming on because she's calling all the way from Guatemala. She's been traveling around the world. Hey, Maddie.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm so good. This has been such a wonderful day, and I'm so happy that we get to like wrap everything up with you because you bring so much knowledge, especially because
Oh,
you
that's a lot of pressure.
know, but like not in a bad way, like
No, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
she's travel. You guys, Maddie is the queen of solo female travel. I don't know if you've seen her on her Instagram. I will drop you her Instagram. She actually is a professional content creator. So she actually does go around showing you the behind the scenes of life in that country. She's even, done Spanish schools in the middle of nowhere in Nicaragua and stayed with host families and, gotten stomach bugs and told you how to like what she had to do to get out of that situation. But yeah, I just think it's so awesome what you're doing. And she's actually now supporting people and she's getting pretty booked with her calls, but she's basically showing people how they can live abroad. Also solo female travel or solo travel if you are male. But she's pretty ballsy. And I just think it's so awesome that you're here with us. I know, what time is it for you right now?
It's noon, so
Noon. Okay, so
not
it's
too bad. It's a good time for me.
not as drastic as what I'm experiencing here at 8:30, but it's okay, it's Saturday.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
to kind of elaborate on Maddie, so she's a 27-year-old solo female traveler who believes the world is a beautiful place filled with incredible experiences. She serves other people that want to embark on a journey like this, solo travel, freelancing, learning how to digital nomad, and basically everything that she's about. And why I wanted her to be here is it's about shifting your mindset, and the way that you shift your mindset can open up a whole new world of travel opportunities. And she helps and encourages other women break free from their fears, explore the world, even if it means doing this alone. So if any of you guys are alone embarking on your journey, male or female, this chat is going to really help you. But put me in the chat if you are embarking on this journey alone. I as well embarked on this journey alone, and I cannot say enough about how it helped me grow. And obviously, Maddie, I'm sure you can attest that this has been the biggest growth journey of your life, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely insane. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I'm sure all of you that are saying me and like commenting right now, like you also like understand, or if you haven't taken your first step into like doing a trip alone, like you will learn so much about yourself more than I truly think anything will ever be able to teach you in life, because all you have to fall back on every single day is yourself. And at times it can be really difficult, but like you have 100% success rate with every single one of your difficult days. And so
I
you get
totally.
through it.
Now, can you tell everybody, like, where are you calling from? I'm so curious.
So I'm actually in Belize now. I know you said Guatemala, but that's just got to keep moving, keep traveling. But so I got to Belize a couple days ago, and so I'm in San Ignacio. I'm kind of in a rainforest. I've got a massive thunderstorm happening, and so I'm really hoping I don't lose service.
No problem. We can hear you okay. So you're in Belize in a
Okay.
rainforest now.
Yes, yeah.
How are you able to do all of this? And you guys, you need to check out her Maddie's life. It's so cool. I've just put a link to her Instagram in the chat, so please follow her. She's so cool. I'm a fan, Maddie. I'm a fan. I'm one of your biggest fans.
That's my hype girl.
Yeah, no, but seriously, I'm a fan. How are you creating a life like this? How are you able to like travel all the time and do your content for companies? And what are you doing? Like, tell us.
Yeah, for sure. So majority of the work that I do right now is freelancing photography or videography for companies. And sometimes that includes me posting it on my own social media channels to my engaged community of like enthusiastic travelers. But other times that also is me just like creating content and giving it to a company. And I don't have to post any of it. So it doesn't matter what my following size is. And I'm saying this for you watching, because like people with 3,000 followers or even less, even 0 followers can be doing the same thing. You just have to create your portfolio of the work that you have done, whatever services you can offer to a company. Let's say it's not even like photography and videography. Let's say you're a really good website builder or designer. I don't know, probably designer is the right terminology. But you can go and work and like pitch to different hotels or different tourism boards in these different countries that have no experience with this. And in exchange, they might pay you. If it's a third world country, they probably can't pay you, but they can usually give you room and board. You can get some free meals out of it. There's so many possibilities for how you can do it. But for me personally, I'm posting on my own social channels for hotels and in exchange staying for free or giving them photos or videos. And then in terms of making like actually receiving money, is usually working with companies from first world countries back in the United States or Europe, and creating content for them and sharing about it with my socials. But even if I didn't have a big following, I could still do it and just give them the content.
Amazing. Wow. So you're basically, how did you set up those deals though, to create content for them? Is it just like you sent them an email and that was it? What was the way that you got?
Yeah. So I first started off by doing it by creating my own portfolio. So I would take photos and videos and I'd create content around things that I already owned, or at a hotel I was paying to stay at, just to get some work and create a nice portfolio to then send to companies. And then once I had, but then so my first step in terms of when it came to pitching was finding like the company on Instagram. And if I couldn't then find like a PR email, I would message them on Instagram and then ask for a marketing email or a marketing person that I could reach out to in terms of a collaboration. And then once you got the email, then just kind of trying to think of a correct way to say this. Either way, like speak highly of them, why you think their company is amazing at the beginning of the email, and then go into like what you can offer them. And a lot of times you get a lot of no's, but you definitely get a lot of yeses.
Yeah. Wow. So I like your out of the box thinking. That's super awesome. Just, you have to be creative when you want to get clients and
Yeah.
travel the world full time. So wait, tell us more about, let's talk more about the traveling the world. When did you start? How long have you been traveling abroad? And kind of talk to us about more of the traveling abroad part.
Yeah. So I've been doing it for 2.5 years now. I've gone home 2 times, I think, for only like a couple months each time. There's always weddings, people getting married. But I used to travel with my ex-boyfriend and we split up about 5 months ago. And so I haven't been doing solo travel the full time. But what I can say is that I love solo travel so much more than traveling with somebody. Maybe that was just the person I was with, I don't know, whatever. But
Me
no,
too.
it's been so, yeah, it's just been so amazing and freeing. And like we were saying earlier, like you learn so much about yourself. Um, but so yeah, I started 2.5 years ago. It was supposed to just be a quick 1 year trip around the world. And then it turned into, oh my goodness, you can make money online. Like, why would we ever go back to the US? Like, let's just keep traveling and see where this adventure can take us. And I absolutely love it. There are times where it is hard, you know, you do miss family. Life on the road is not always the easiest, but I think with every lifestyle, it has its highs and lows. And for me personally, this one is the one I choose.
Wow. It's so inspiring because it's scary to make that step, especially, and I love how transparent you are. Thank you for sharing. And guys, if you guys are following her on Instagram, you'll see Maddie lays it all on the table. She's not hiding anything. Like, I've even seen you really get emotional about the breakup, in stories, and just how you're moving through it. And I just appreciate that so much because we've all been through losing people and things like this. How do you travel alone? I mean, what countries have you been to? And what about the danger of it?
Yeah, so the countries I've been to alone now are Vietnam, Thailand, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and now Belize. I will say I felt more safe and more comfortable over in Vietnam and Thailand. And I think that wasn't so much because there's anything bad happening in Central America. It was more so just that Latin culture is very focused on catcalling, and they're more aggressive, not in a bad way aggressive, but just like their personalities are, like the culture as a whole is, versus like Asian cultures are a bit more reserved and kind of a bit just more reserved, I would say. And so when I first got over to, sorry,
It's fine.
when I first got over to Nicaragua, it was kind of like one of those like, oh, slap in the face. It's like you're back over in Central America. Um, just getting more used to that. But in terms of staying safe, I would say I'm always aware of my surroundings. I'm always making sure I'm not like doing anything that's trying to draw attention to me, not being super flashy with anything, even though I'm always carrying around like my big camera, which is so flashy. But
I know. I was going to ask you about that.
um, yeah, I think I just always have RBF, which is resting B word face, in case anyone doesn't know that slang. And so I think I just am always like mean mugging people and just like looking around,
Okay.
which I don't know if that actually deters people, but I think I'm always making sure like I'm walking with confidence, keeping my head like moving. And I think that really helps. Like you don't look like an easy target then.
Interesting. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
How do you deem, we're getting some questions in here. So guys, if you have any questions about Latin America, which I want to ask you more questions about that, or solo traveling or creating content, Maddie actually coaches people on this. Meg is asking, how do you deem a location safe enough to travel to, specifically in South and Central America? Perfect, because that's where you're at.
So this is also going to go into Lisa's question too, of how do you get ready for and then comfortable in each new location? And I think for me, the one thing I always remind myself in every new location is every single place I'm going to, that is someone's hometown where they learn to ride a bike for the first time, where there's a new couple that just got married this last weekend, where and there's a new mother who just welcomed her first child. And I think it's a really beautiful and easy way to like remind us that we're all more connected and that the world actually isn't as dangerous as we think it is. And so I always just remind myself that like, yes, there's dangerous locations everywhere in the world. I mean, there's so many dangerous locations in the United States. Like there's so many so I think you just have to have the mindset of knowing that like a bad thing could happen at any point anywhere, but that doesn't, and it shouldn't stop you from like living your life. So I think as long as you take all your necessary precautions, safety isn't really something to worry about.
Right. What are those precautions, just quickly, if we can run over them? Like, what do you always make sure? I know you did a reel about this the other day. What are the safety precautions though that people should follow?
So I normally always have it with me, and I guess I left it up in my room, but I've got a big like metal water bottle, and I can always swing that around if I'm ever feeling like, and I sometimes if I do kind of walk in a situation, I kind of just swing it around and hit it off my hand so people can hear how loud it is. Again, no idea if this actually makes a difference, but it helps me. Another thing is I'm always researching neighborhoods. So whenever I'm getting to a new town, I'm going to research, okay, what's this neighborhood like? What's this neighborhood like? And then at the hostel or hotel or wherever I'm staying, I just ask, I'm like, is it safe to walk around at night? Can I walk around with my camera? Are there certain areas that I should be avoiding? Because I always think locals are going to have the best knowledge for you. And so I would recommend just always asking a local if it's safe or if it's not safe. I always read blogs about like, is it safe for a solo female traveler? But a lot of times you kind of just have to go and experience it yourself. I never look on any government's websites. Like governments have like their level 1, 2, 3, and 4 safety deals. I don't pay attention to those because I just don't really think they're that accurate. And the one thing I never listen to is any advice from a person who has never been to the country? Because I have so many people in my life that are like, oh, that place is not safe. And so I immediately ask them, I go, what was your personal experience with it? And they always say, oh, I don't know, I've never been there. I'm like, okay, so you're only getting your information from the media, which most of the time is not an accurate representation of a country.
Right. Because also the people that work in the media probably haven't been there. So
Exactly.
rule of thumb, make friends of people that are living there. I mean, Facebook groups, guys, you can join Americans in Panama,
Yes.
Americans in Belize, Americans in Guatemala, and you can chat around and really get the lay of the land. Set up a Zoom call, start adding people on the Facebook groups and messaging them and see, hey, I'm planning this 1 month trip. Would love to pick your brain as it's the first time I'm coming abroad. People will respond to that and you can have a chat with them. So I think that's so nice what you're saying about asking the people their experience. Yeah, for sure. Tell me what your life looks like on a day-to-day, Maddie.
Oh man, that is my one problem, is that I have no routine. And so every single day is different, which for the most part I like it, but I'm currently experiencing a lot of burnout. And so I know I need to start implementing a routine. But if I had a perfect day, my perfect day would slowly wake up around 8, 9, because I'm not a morning person, and then maybe do a workout, go lay by the pool or be outside in nature for a bit, and then start working around 11 o'clock, which my work would consist of any one-on-one coaching calls that I have with any of my clients, and then working on creating reels, creating posts for Instagram, creating stories, engaging with my community. That's like a big thing for me, is like really always trying to like make meaningful connections on Instagram with my community. So spend couple hours doing that, and then editing YouTube videos, because I also do like in-depth travel guides for each country and each city that I go to. Working like email responses to different brands, and then take a break for dinner, go back and do it all again for another 4 hours, and then go to bed.
Wow. And what about when you're not working? I mean, because how do you schedule? I see all of your content and all of your cool, you're going down a volcano. How do you find time to do those excursions with the work and everything? Are you planning it like, okay, 1 day a week, you're doing some crazy excursion and that's what you're documenting for your audience? Or how are you like planning that part of the traveling?
Again, that's the problem, that I'm not great with routines and planning. And so it's kind of just, and that is the one beautiful though part about that. Like, I created this lifestyle that I can, whatever day I want, I don't have a boss. I can choose to work more hours this day, work no hours this days. And like, money is great, but to me, it's the freedom to be able to be like, oh, there's a group that's going volcano boarding down a volcano today. Like, yeah, let's go. Like, I don't have to ask permission to take it off, you know? And so I kind of just play each day by day. Like, I was supposed to be going on a tour later today, but I can get canceled because of the weather. And so, oh, I'll just shift my schedule around, get some more computer work done today then. And then tomorrow I'm out and gone all day long, going inner tubing down like a cave, through a river, through a cave. I don't know really for sure what it's gonna look like, but that's the beautiful part about this life, is you kind of just get to roll with it.
Inner tubing through a cave in Belize?
Yeah.
Wow. That's so cool. And you guys, Maddie is like, she's all about, going for what you really want, doing things that make you feel uncomfortable. That's why I love everything that you're helping people with. I saw you jump off a cliff too the other day. What was that? Was that Thailand? The cliff jumping?
Well, it depends which cliff jumping. I always end up doing too many of those. But I think the recent one it was in Guatemala. It was yeah.
That was so funny. That was hilarious. So Camila has a question for US citizens. Any recommendations to maintain your residence, insurance, bank transaction, etc., while traveling?
Oh man. So residents, I just use my parents. address, and I just have everything mailed to them, and they kind of handle all of it. Thank goodness that they're still taking care of their 27-year-old daughter this way. Um, Bank transactions, I guess I don't. Everything's electronic with my banks, so I guess maybe if you have more in-depth conversation or question about that, ask it, because I don't fully know what that means. And then insurance, I just use Medicaid because I'm in the US for like 1 month out of the year, so I don't pay for that, but I pay for safety wing travel insurance.
Okay, awesome. To add to that, guys, a lot of the speakers actually that are on this summit, we actually use some of the same strategies. We have online businesses or we're freelance. We use a family member's residence in the US. Yes, you can do it. You just have to set it up the right way and pay your taxes and do all that good stuff. But yeah, it's totally possible to have your business in the US while you're doing all this traveling. And then the insurance part, yeah, definitely you're going to want medical travel insurance. Can you talk a little bit about that, Maddie? Because Maddie publicly talked about what happened. Do you want to tell people what happened? And also I would like to know about the medical insurance, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, but I know
I share it all.
So
yeah, and that is the one thing. If you're not already following me, if you do decide to start following me, I share way too much information, but I think it's important to for people to see every side of travel. So I love mangoes, and I was having a great day. I was chilling at the lake in Guatemala, and I was eating a big cup of mangoes, and then on my last bite, it was just full of worms. I just realized that all of the mango was probably full of worms that I'd spent the last 20 minutes eating. And then honestly, I kind of forgot about it because I was like, oh, I'm sure they're just little larva things, they'll pass. It's not a big deal. And it was a week later. My stories are always behind, but so it was a week later, I was going and posting then that story of me filming, saying I just ate worms. And I was like, could that be why I've been so bloated lately? Could that be why my stomach is having massive issues? I was like, ding, ding, ding. So I just went into a pharmacy, told them my symptoms, told them what happened, and they're like, oh yeah, this is super common. Here's these pills. Gave me medicine. It cost $10, and I'm good now.
No way.
So, and I didn't use insurance or anything for that. Honestly, realistically, you probably don't need insurance, but the off chance that something horrendous would happen, you definitely need insurance. Because if I need to get life flighted back to the US, if I break a bone, if any of those massive things happen, you're definitely going to want insurance. But otherwise, any medical attention in third world countries is pretty relatively cheap.
Yeah. And that's so reassuring that you went in to the pharmacy. It's I've been to Mexico multiple times to get my albuterol. I know I don't need a prescription. They didn't ask for a prescription. Did you see a doctor? Did you have to go to a doctor first?
No, I just walked into a pharmacy.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing and obviously being transparent with that. And anybody else have any other questions? How much is your travel insurance? Meg asks.
I believe Safety Wing is $40 a month.
Not bad.
So $40 US a month. Yeah, no, so not bad. Rita asked, how did you get started? So in terms of getting started with photography and videography and content creation, I had zero experience. I had never picked up a camera a day before in my life. I truly do believe that anyone can do this if you have a slight interest. I've always enjoyed looking at photography. I've always enjoyed being a bit creative, but it's a lot of consistency. It's a lot of hard work. It's not as easy as a lot of people make it out to be, but I do think what's really cool about social media is it's going more towards just authenticity and keeping it real and just being yourself. So it doesn't have to be some curated perfect feed, which is great, which I think makes it easier, but I think it makes it a bit more difficult because there are more people doing it. So with that, I would recommend really find your niche, be yourself, but stay super, super consistent with it. And yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. And then question, what is your free gift? I've dropped it in the chat a couple times. It is an initial consultation with Maddie. So she's devoting her time to have a free chat with you guys. What is the free chat? And some people are asking like what types of things would be appropriate for the consultation. Can you kind of chat with us about the coaching that you're offering and you know, what that first free chat can be like?
Yeah, of course. So it's gonna be about a 30-minute chat. And in it, I'm kind of just gonna ask you more about like how you want your lifestyle to look, what you don't like about your life right now, what you would like your life to look like. And that doesn't have to be anything to do with travel if you don't want it to be travel. But I think probably for most people it is. But it can also be about just like female empowerment. So part of my socials and channels are all about travel, but then they're also about the breakup and about getting through heartache and about choosing yourself and loving yourself. And so my focus that I have with my clients, they're kind of, some of them overlap, but some of them are equally this side, equally this side. One side being, you know, how to start traveling, how to make money while traveling, and how to kind of create your own life and your own freedom and what you want. And then any travel related questions of like logistics of how to find a good place where to stay, needing Wi-Fi, food safety, etc. And then kind of the other side is more so about like how to choose yourself, how to know if it's time for the relationship to be over, like how to even if you stay in a relationship, but how to work on yourself and how to make sure that you're living your truest authentic self and bringing the best version of yourself. I keep saying yourself a lot, but it's all about you bringing yourself like to the table. And sometimes those do overlap.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. It's so diverse and it's so great. Thank you so much. And guys, I'm going to put it again, the free gift in the chat. I think there were a couple other questions, Maddie, if you wanted to try to answer those. I don't know if you're seeing them on your end.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop the free
So
gift
I
again.
charge content in US dollars. Setting up banking. So with banking, I just use like my US bank, and they can always transfer money. They can do a wire transfer or through PayPal.
Nice.
Girl, 8 is the morning. Oh, okay, cool, good. Alicia, I like to hear that.
And to add to the bank transfer, if I could chime in, you can do all the things that you normally have. You have Zelle, which I love using Zelle with my clients because they just look up my phone number. And PayPal, like you said, you can do Venmo. Cash App, I don't really use it, but yeah, you can use Cash App. You can really do anything that you want. Sorry, there's a weird noise happening now in the co-working space. I don't know what that is. Interesting. What other questions did we have, Maddie?
I'm trying to like read through them rapid fire really quick.
What equipment do you use for your content creation?
Yeah, so Instagram is like 90% my iPhone. I have an iPhone 14 Pro. What I will say is like always film, you can't always film on the back lens. Like when I'm vlogging or like talking for stories, I turn my phone around because your back camera is way better than like your selfie camera. So there's that. And then for vlogging for YouTube, I have a whole setup. I use a Sony a7 III camera with a wide angle lens and then a Sony microphone.
Hey, wow. Thanks for sharing. Okay, another question from Lynette. Maddie, do you speak Spanish? Is it necessary to know in Latin America?
It's not necessary because I have met a lot of other travelers that speak absolutely no Spanish, but it will make your life so much easier if you do speak Spanish. I don't speak much of it. I speak enough that as long as the other person is speaking slowly and I know the context, I can understand most things. But yeah, you can definitely do it without speaking Spanish, but it will make your life easier if you speak some. And locals just really appreciate it when you like at least try, you know?
What else about Latin America from your take? Do you have any takeaways that you could share with us about Latin America and potentially moving there?
A mixture of so many different beautiful cultures and beautiful people, and it is not as dangerous as the media makes it out to be. And it is like truly a really special place, and it's definitely worth checking out. It's not as cheap as Southeast Asia, but it's still very cheap compared to other areas.
Now, what are we talking in terms of cheap? Like you could have a weekly or monthly budget. Let's just say monthly budget for some of the countries. If you could just think of some.
So I would say like I throughout the last like 3 months of being in Latin America, I live very comfortably with 1,000 USD a month. And that's not, if I were to like just stay in one place for a month, I could make that way cheaper because I can pay for an accommodation for like 1 month, you know?
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
incredible. Thank you so much, Maddie. Is any other last minute questions? Oh, Lisa Ann, what are your longer term plans? Are you staying in Latin America for a while?
No, so I actually am heading back to the US for the first time in 10 months, on August 3rd. So we're gonna go home, see my family. It'll be the first time seeing family or friends like since the breakup. So I'm actually like really excited to like just go be with family, go be with friends. I am there for only like 2 months, and then I'm actually hosting a group trip to Morocco mid-November. And so Sean, I can throw the link there too. If anybody wants to tag along to the Morocco group trip, I think I have 4 spots left. But yeah, going to be doing Morocco and then heading back over to Southeast Asia because it's so cheap. It's beautiful. The food's great.
Wow. Love it. Yeah, I just went to Morocco and it was absolutely incredible. I wish I could go on your trip, but I'm going to be back in the US for the visa stuff because we're going to be traveling for a while. So I need to come back. But I would definitely sign up if I wasn't having to be back in the US. But thank you so, so much. I don't know if you see one other question you wanted to answer.
Oh
Oh,
no, I'm trying to read through them so fast.
what countries are next after Latin America? And that will be the last question.
Kind of just what I just said. It was Morocco and then over to Southeast Asia, but I don't know for sure like the countries.
Okay. Wow.
Um,
Maddie,
yeah.
thank you so, so much for being here with us. And if you guys have any other questions, I've dropped her free gift in the chat. And that is the initial consultation for free. I would definitely grab that while that offer is valid, and definitely follow her on Instagram. And for those of you that have not upgraded and want to catch the replays, you can definitely still do that. I will put it in the chat right now. And actually right now, I just do have to run to the restroom. It's pretty crazy. I went this whole time without going to the restroom. How is that possible?
Impressive.
Pretty impressive, right? I'm going to run to the restroom really quick, but all the VIPs, you're getting an email right now so that you can jump into the live Q&A. We're going to go for about 30 minutes and you guys can still get in there. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow it's stacked with tons of really awesome experts. So you're definitely going to want to come. We have Vanessa from Wander Onwards, who actually is going to talk about like EU options, getting work sponsorship, student visas that you can get for literally $1,000 for the whole year. Like she's going to be dropping some gold. And then we have a lot of other really cool chats too about business, about moving overseas. We have a Panama chat too. So it's going to be really, really great. And see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for closing.
Thank you, Shauna. It was so amazing as always.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I'm super excited for your travels.